Hello, really welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be making a squishy for you. I haven't made one in a little while. I feel really weird about it, but today I decided to make one out of a dish sponge instead of memory foam because I know a lot of people have been asking me to do so. So I bought a packet of dish sponges just for the purpose of actually doing my dishes, and they turned out to be really rubbish. So I thought that is the perfect opportunity to make some dish sponge squishies. So I used 2 for today's video, and I have another 3 available because I used one for my dishes that ended up sucking and I threw it in the bin. It was that bad. Like, it was so soft. It didn't really work for cleaning dishes, but I knew it would be perfect for making squishies. So if you want to see any more of these, then just comment down below and I will be happy to do that because obviously I have them to use up. So yeah, today's video is going to be a dish sponge squishy DIY, and I'm just going to get straight on into it. Okay, so this is the sponge that I was talking about, the dish sponges. They're just regular ones from Sainsbury's, and I'm not gonna lie, they are not very good for cleaning dishes. So if that's what you're looking for, these are not the ones. But for squishy making, they are great because the sponge is so soft. So on one of them, I just started drawing out a circle, and then just cut it down a little bit and remove the scouring pad from the other side because obviously we don't want that on our squishy. We want it to be nice and soft and foamy only, and not like scrubbing like your skin off your hands because that just wouldn't be very nice. So I just used a normal biro pen to draw a nice circle, and then I cut it out with my scissors. The scissors I use are just fabric scissors. They're a bit big, but they do the job perfectly, and I always end up buying these ones over and over because they just work so well. So what I do, I cut out the shape just like really roughly, and then I go back in and smooth it out. So I shape around the circle to begin with, and then I'll go back in with smaller and smaller kind of snips just to make sure that it's nice and smooth, rounding out all of the edges and that sort of stuff. So this is going to make one side of what I want, so I need 3 of these in total. So as you can see here, I'm taking the original one, drawing around on another piece of foam, and then cutting it out in the exact same way. Like I said, I did this 3 times over so that I had 3 shapes the exact same size and shape. Once I had all 3 pieces, I then glued them together. So the glue that I use for my squishy making is Fabri-Tac fabric glue. I buy mine off of Amazon, but it's awesome because it kind of bonds like almost straight away. So when you press it into it, it kind of grabs and it dries flexible so that you're not left with any hard spots or anything like that. It's a really strong glue. It does smell pretty strong, so you don't want to be, you know, smelling it. You want to be ventilating well, but this is a really good glue and I would recommend it. So I glued all 3 of those pieces together. Then I just took another offcut piece of the sponge and I just started sculpting and just snipping away until I had this sort of shape. Then I rounded out each of those pieces just to make them look like they were almost like an animal. I'm trying not to give it away. I'm not sure if I've put this in my thumbnail yet because I haven't made my thumbnail yet, but yeah, I'm trying not to give it away just yet, just in case you like to watch for the surprise. So once I had that bit done, I just glued that onto the top of those 3 circles. Now, if you haven't guessed already, those 3 circles are gonna be pancakes. Yeah, I feel like you would have known that by now already. So to paint my squishies, I use a combination of PVA, white glue or Mod Podge, a whole load of fabric paint. I just used white puffy paint for this one, and then a small dollop of acrylic paint just to kind of tint the colour of it. Not so much like painting with acrylic, your piece will crack if you use it. It might not crack straight away, but it will in the future, and I do not recommend that at all. So like I said, I use the majority of my paint is puffy paint mixed down with some PVA glue to make it go further, and then the acrylic paint just to tint it and make it the colour I want it to be. I usually paint my squishies on a stick. As you can see, I stuck a bamboo stick, like bamboo skewer, I don't know, a barbecue skewer up into the middle of it just so that I could paint all of the like piece at one time without having to turn it over and take loads of time. To seal up those like little joins, I actually just went back in with the puffy paint just straight up and just went in between them, let that dry down and put about 3 coats of the colour on over the top of that so that I was left with one solid coloured piece. Once I had done around about 4 or 5 layers of paint, I then started on painting on the details. You know when it's time to paint on the details, when all of like the holes in the foam have covered up, that's when you're going to get a slow rising squishy, and that is what we want. So as you can see here, I'm painted on all the way around the outside kind of edge of those pancakes, and then just dabbing it down with my finger to blend it out to make it look like kind of real pancakes do. Once you've done the whole stack, it does kind of come together a little bit more, like it doesn't just look like an odd kind of yellow line around it. But as you can see here, doing it over and over and over again, it gives a really good realistic little pancake kind of effect. So once that was done, I took the same colour, because it was like a buttery kind of yellow, I painted that piece at the top. This was supposed to be a cat, but it turned into something different. But yeah, I painted it and then went back in with a smaller paintbrush to like make this drip like effect, like the butter had melted, and then I painted on the details using a small nail art brush. I wanted to make it look like the butter was kind of melting, so my cat kind of turned into a bear. Like, this looks like a bear, doesn't it? So we're going with the butter bear. Yeah, I wanted to make sure like the butter bear looked like he was melting on top with like the butter dripping down on the pancakes. I don't really like butter on my pancakes. I'm more of a syrup and like cinnamon and banana type person, but you know, this is a butter bear pancake stack. So to make it kind of drip more, be more watery, I just used a bunch of glue in that original colour that I used. I don't know if you can see there, like the white bits, that's just white PVA glue, and I've just really watered it down so that I had a nice kind of shiny mixture, and I just put that on to look like the butter was melting all the way around, and left that to dry. Once fully dry, I just removed the bamboo stick, just popped on a whole load of puffy paint, swirled it out with my finger, left that dry, and painted over it again. So I did paint over the bottom again, like I just said. I put the puffy paint over the hole so that it would seal it. Then I just coloured in the whole bottom, just like blended it out with my finger there, just so that it matched up a little bit better. It is a little bit lighter than the original colour that I used, but you can't really notice it. You're not going to turn it around and go, oh, is that the same colour, you know? So this little guy was supposed to be a cat, but like I said, he just looks like a little bear. And I think it's worked out adorable. Like, look, he's just a little butter bear. So like, I wanted it to make it like he was melting over the pancakes, which I feel like it definitely has done the job with this bit of like gluey puffy paint. It's made no difference to the texture. It just meant that it was a lot easier to kind of drip on, which I think is really, really nice. Squishiness wise, he is really, really soft. Like, really soft, really cute. He's adorable. I think he's just made such a change coming from that sponge, and yeah, really, really happy with it. So that's your close up there. Hope you're enjoying this, because I think this is adorable. So this is how the little squishy has turned out. It is actually really, really small. I just still have like this much of one dish sponge left, but yeah, this is how the squishies turned out. It's just a little stack of pancakes with like a little bear on top. That's also butter. I did intend to do the butter as like a cat, but it just looks more like a bear, and I thought the word butter bear sounded really, really sweet. So yeah, really, really happy with how this has turned out. It's nice and airy. Like, I don't know if you could hear that, but it's so soft, it's so squishy. It's not massively slow rising, but I mean, it's not bad at all. it is slow. It's like not really fast. I've had licensed squishies which have been faster and more dense than this, but yeah, really happy with how it has turned out. So hopefully you have enjoyed today's video. If you do end up recreating it, then be sure to tag me on Instagram. I will try and repost you onto my highlights. And yeah, so that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will be back very soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you then. Bye.